So what we've got going on behind me is the rare Parafanmobile in the living room maneuver, because we're gonna do some work on the motor today. It's raining outside and hopefully we have an opportunity to fly it tonight. But what we've got here, this motor behind me, as I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize, is Jaclyn's Atom 80. Recently I did a video kind of showcasing the Vitarazi Moster 185 and specifically talking about the new features on the MY20 model. This video, we're gonna do basically the same thing, but focus in on the Atom 80 made by Vitarazi and specifically look at the new features on the MY20 model. So this little engine, if you guys remember, we picked it up back in February of 2019. It really kind of facilitated a change in Jaclyn's flying. It inspired a lot more confidence. It allowed her to progress, which we're gonna talk about a little bit later. But she's got 32.8 hours on her right now. So far, 0 issues. I've loved flying the motor, Jaclyn's loved flying the motor. If I had to nitpick, if I had to choose one thing that I didn't like about the engine, it would be the stains on the exhaust, which is nitpicking. If that's the only bad thing you can say about an engine, I think they're doing a pretty good job. So this motor specifically is an Atom 80 MY19 model, but over here in this fresh new box is an MY20 model. So what we're gonna do today is pop this engine off. It shouldn't take very long. Swap it out for the new MY20, break it in, and then hopefully by sunset tonight, go fly it.
One of the hardest parts of paramotoring, still to this day, is managing the weight of the motor and the wing and everything all together, especially on days where there isn't a lot of wind. This paramotor in particular has pretty much made my launches and landings so much easier. I find when I'm just standing with the motor on my back, it doesn't put that much strain on me. And even if I fail a launch, I'm not that winded afterwards because it really isn't that heavy.
So yeah, with the Atom 80 being a lighter weight, smaller displacement engine, one, it's perfect for beginners up to about 200 pounds, and it's perfect for small people as like their forever motor. Pilots that are in the 115 pound range that won't really be able to manage a bigger motor, girls, smaller, younger people, it's perfect for them. All right, so we got the throttle linkage completely off, fuel tube completely off. We're gonna chop that just because I buggered up the end a little bit, but we have enough fuel tubing to save the day. Then over here on the left side, all we have to do is pull our electrical connections and our tachometer, and then it's just 4 bolts and this guy will come off. So all I have is the 4 bolts on the back. You're gonna untie that, and then by the time these are loose, you're just gonna catch the engine as it's ready to fall off.
Okay, warn me.
Yeah, I'll let you know. It just falls on the coffee table. So in the meantime, I want to talk about safety and this engine.
Yeah, so the perfect example is from the time I started flying, the motors that I was on, they were not very reliable. The first one had issues like every other week with the engine dying and something breaking, and the list goes on. I was pretty much afraid to like go on cross countries and really trust the motors. It gave me anxiety before like every flight. But now with this engine, I know that I can trust it. It's not very intimidating. The power is very smooth, and it really allows me to just focus on flying. It's perfect for me.
So we are ready to remove the engine. I have 2 bolts on the top. Grab it maybe by the exhaust and something. It might be slightly heavy.
Ow, my toe. Oh my God.
I'll drop it. I'll drop it, Jaclyn. Oh, there she is. She's free. Moments ago, there was an engine here, and now there's not. Can you support it for a second? We need to find...
You gotta warn me.
I was, but I just wasn't fast enough. It's like, can you hold this? Okay, bye. Out with the old, in with the new, as they say. In this box should be an MY20 Atom 80.
cat loves boxes.
On top, we got a prop. That's a fresh one.
Oh, wow.
Sweet embroidered
Smell
shirts. Oh, that is pungent.
A jacket.
And Adam 80 shirts. Damn!
I love jackets.
That's a nice ass jacket.
Wow.
That's
it looks
basic.
warm. This is about the motor, not about the jacket.
In this box, I think is the gearbox. She's light. Hey, the handle's on. You don't have to untie that thing.
Thank God.
There she is. Gearbox and bolts are gonna go on. Spark plug's gonna go in. And then gearbox oil is gonna go in the gearbox. And then we'll be ready to mount her up. Okay. Is it going now?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll get the other one started. Okay, so the next talking point, if you will, is comfort of the Adam 80. I think it's a super comfortable engine, mainly because of like the noise and lack of vibrations. How did that affect your flying transition?
It made it a lot less intimidating, especially coming from the previous motors that I was flying. They were very loud. They vibrated a lot on my back. And this just mitigates noise altogether. Like even when you're at full power, it really does just sound like a microwave.
The Adam 80 uses a clutch and a gear drive. Your last motor didn't have a clutch.
That was a big thing. When I was just standing, getting clipped in, my motor was running, I would be shaking because it would just be idling super high the whole time.
Yeah, and the propeller's blowing wind. It's a more snag hazard. The other cool thing with the Adam, depending on what frame you put it on, I think it makes a really good travel motor. Like when we do our van life thing, this thing's so light and easy to like maneuver. It being small makes a big difference. And especially if you were to do like an overseas trip where you have to box your motor up and send it somewhere, I would choose this motor all day. All right, so from this point, I'm gonna tighten the bolts. We've got the pull start handle, we've got the throttle connection, we've got the fuel connection, and then we have the electrical, which is just our tachometer, hour meter, and the ground and kill switch wire. Spark plug has to go in, spark plug cap, and the gear drive oil and propeller, and then we're pretty much good to go. Motor install is complete. We got the MY20 Adam 80 on board. MY19 is gonna go in the shed for spare parts or something. It's almost like a brand new paramotor. We're gonna have to break this motor in before we go fly it. Two last points on the Adam 80. One is fuel efficiency. This motor, they claim, gets 2.7 liters per hour, which is incredible. My Moster normally goes about 4 liters an hour, which is pretty average. It's cool because she can take off with 3 or 4 liters and fly for an hour safely. The last point is that we talked about how this motor is good for beginners. It helps you learn faster. It's good for light pilots. But not only that, I personally, as a more advanced pilot, I really enjoy flying the motor. It's like the flying microwave. It's so quiet, it's so smooth. Very advanced level pilot will still get a lot of joy out of flying this motor. The next clip I'm gonna have is gonna be a cinematic sequence on a beautiful sunny day, and I'm gonna be narrating, telling you guys all the features about the MY20 Adam, what they've done to make this motor even better than the MY19 we just took off. Cue cinematic sequence. The Adam 80 MY20 is an 80cc single-cylinder two-stroke engine. At 80cc, it's one of the smallest and lightest paramotor engines on the market. It weighs in at 23 pounds and puts out about 120 pounds of thrust at full power. New for the MY20 model is an improved crankcase and reduction drive. These both bring a better aesthetic finish and a reduced overall weight. Specifically on the reduction drive, there's an added oil drain plug with a magnetic base and an added inspection hole for the oil level. Next, they reinforce the silencer plate by adding 1mm of extra material for better durability. They also used a new Walbro WB series carb for better stability in all weather conditions. This also adds a new jet adjustment for lower atmospheric temperatures. And just like the MY20 Moster, the MY20 Atom features a new material for the rubber airbox sleeve, a BR9 spark plug with a steel pin, new and improved seals, as well as an anti-corrosion treatment on all of the screws.
Let's see.
You got this, you got this!
Oh, shit. If it's actually like way more power, I feel like I'm never gonna need another motor.
Yeah.
Like
that's
ever.
Awesome. It
Yeah.
sounds good. Right out of the box, purrs like a kitten.
Yeah.
Rips at
Speaking
the
of
throttle.
the cats, we probably scared them.
Yeah, they're probably hiding under the bed.
Wow, that's crazy. You want to switch?
Should I try the signature pinky pull start? It's warmed up, so it's kind of cheating. Probably pissing off the neighbors at this point. But
I know. They're gonna be like, what kind of lawnmower does he have?
It does feel like it has a little more top end, and it's still very linear.
Yeah,
no
for
power
sure.
band, just straight up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little climb rate check. Bring her down the runway, and we will go straight to full power.
Professional. Woohoo! Nice one, Jaclyn. All right, Jaclyn just crushed her first launch on the new Atom MY20 Mobile, and I just went for a lap around the patch to gather my first impressions. And to be honest, the impressions are exactly as I expected. Very smooth, very quiet, very easy. You get on this engine and it's just like, no worries, no stress, it's easy. I recently saw a post from a paragliding pilot that was considering getting into paramotoring, but he was kind of concerned about the noise and the vibrations because free flight pilots don't have any of that. And if you're that guy, this would be the motor for you. It's the most like pure sort of flying experience that I think you can get with a motor on your back, aside from electric, which electric's not that practical in my opinion. So yeah, who's this motor for? Beginners, for sure. Lightweight people, for sure. Also can be for advanced pilots up to about 200 pounds, even though my man Matt Minyard pulled off a tandem on one of these motors. But practicality-wise, 200 pounds on the right wing and you're at the upper limit. Free flight pilots going to paramotoring, for sure. Good motor for them. And especially the Jaclyn. I think it's a great motor for her. So I'm gonna film her doing a little flying and we'll get her impressions as she comes down.
Hello.
Most excellent launch and landing.
The air started to get a little funky.
Really? That was beauteous though.
Thank you.
What'd you think?
Okay, so I think that it might have been a slight illusion because I didn't have, I had my helmet off and I could really hear like the power. I'm gonna turn this off.
I feel
You know
like,
what I mean?
honestly, it might have a slight little bit more top end.
Right. There's like a slight difference. And like you said, I'm like bad at explaining things, but it might be more top end. It's nice, smooth, power all the way through. I like it.
The perfect motor for the Jaclyn 5000.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna sign off. Sun is setting. We gotta pack up and pick the slugs off of our wings. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Freaking motor swap of Jaclyn's motor. We'll keep you guys updated. As always with all my things, I like being completely transparent and honest about things. I was just saying, as Jaclyn like flies the motor more throughout the summer, we'll keep you guys updated. So keep tuned in and watch this motor progress and gain more hours throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Jaclyn?
Along with me.
Jaclyn.
I'm gonna bite off that thought. I really, really freaking love this motor. I feel like I really started my official flying journey when I started flying this motor because it just made everything so much easier, from like the weight and the power is so much smoother and there's not a lot of noise. It really like lets you focus on flying. And I don't have a background in aviation. This is like the first time I've ever done anything flying around related. So it took the edge off. And if you have any timid girlfriends or wives, fiancés who are trying to get into the sport but they're scared, this made it a lot easier. So take that as you will.
Nice flying, Jaclyn.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Till then, peace.